Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Pav. I'm really excited to be making this video because at the end of 2018, I had made a video where I looked back on the year and I talked about what my year was like and what I was looking forward to in 2019. So I'm so excited to be doing this video where I review 2019 and talk about how the year has been and maybe a little bit about what my plans are for 2020. Yeah, without further ado, let's get on with the video. Just make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below and a big thumbs up because I'd really appreciate that. And yeah, okay. Also, I have a lot of notes here, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking down at. Okay, so the beginning of 2019, I felt like it was not going to be my year. I think I was still, from 2018, I was carrying that feeling of feeling lost and not really knowing what I wanted to do in terms of my career and things like that. And I knew that my graduation was fast approaching. And so it was that whole stress of like, okay, what's next? And I was graduating in June, but even at the beginning of the year, just the thought of the fact that I would soon be graduated, and it was just that feeling of feeling lost. Like, it just felt like at the beginning of the year, it just felt like this was not going to be my year. I was not looking forward to it. I was dreading it. So at the beginning of the year, for the first 4 months of 2019, I was still doing my second term of co-op at a clinic, and I had chosen that particular place for co-op, and luckily I got accepted there because I really wanted to give myself the chance to see what the environment of working in a medical setting was like, and to have the opportunity to talk to medical professionals, because previously I was considering the medical field, but in order to like completely close that chapter out of my life, I felt like I needed to see it for myself and be like, yes, I was right, this is not for me. And so so I was still doing those 4 months of co-op, and the whole topic of like medical school and things like that, that deserves a whole other video on its own, so I'm not going to focus on that in here. But at the beginning of the year, I was really still kind of telling myself like, you do not want to go to medical school, like this is not for you, and just kind of like reassuring myself that it's okay to not want to go, and that I will figure out what I want to do and things will work out. It was a lot of just mental stress and talking to myself and reflecting and reassuring myself that things were going to work out, even though at the beginning of the year it didn't seem like things were going to work out. So needless to say, I was quite stressed at the beginning of 2019. It just felt like at that point that I had no sense of direction. In June of 2019, I graduated with my Bachelor's of Science honors in kinesiology with distinction, because your girl studied hard and she worked hard, and I'll admit I have amazing grades. I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I worked hard and I'm so proud of myself for working so hard and believing in myself. And it wasn't about the fact that I had to just be the best or things like that. It's just I've always been that person. Like, if you know me personally, like, that I have always been that person. In terms of school and academics, there were no excuses. I didn't want to make any excuses. I always wanted to get like A+, and I'm so proud of myself for making that a priority, because it really helped me push myself, and I feel like I challenged myself by taking difficult courses and by excelling in them, because I studied hard, I worked hard, and I built really good habits of success through the years that I focused on school. And so I'm really proud of myself for that. Good job, Pav. And yeah, I'm proud of my degree, whether I end up using it or not in the future. I'm just really proud of myself for that. Now, along with graduation came the feeling of what am I doing with my life? And I feel like a lot of students go through that. I even made another video about it, and if you haven't watched that, you should go watch it. I think I named it I Feel Lost, and very accurately, I felt quite lost at that point in my life, because now I was done with school, I was done with co-op, and I didn't know where to go, what to do. I felt like I had no sense of direction. It seemed like other people, I knew exactly what they were going to do once they graduated, and I didn't, and it felt scary. So after I graduated, I decided to take the summer off. So I spent a lot of time with my family. I hung out with friends when I wanted to, and I also spent a lot of time alone, just reflecting, getting to know myself, discovering my talents, and focusing on myself, listening to my inner voice, because I just really wanted to figure out what I really wanted, because it felt like over the years I had let other people's opinions and perspectives cloud my judgment and what I wanted from life and who I was as a person. And that summer, I just really wanted it to be my time, and for me to figure out what I want and what I want to focus on the months going forward. And so yeah, but I also had a lot of fun. I also went to LA and Las Vegas. It was a road trip, and it was amazing. We had so much fun together. I loved spending time with my family, and I had never been there before, so it was awesome. My dad always tells us stories about when him and his friends kind of did their road trip to LA and Vegas and places like that, and it just always sounds so fun. So the fact that we got to do that, it was amazing, and I'm so grateful for that opportunity. Yeah, that was really fun. And as I was talking about before, in 2019 I became even more certain about the fact that I did not want to attend medical school. And so even though I had kind of decided that in 2018, in 2019 it was just, it just became so solid for me. I was like, I definitely don't want to go to medical school. I know, in 2019, it just became more and more obvious to me the more that I focused on myself that I was meant to do something else, and there was no point thinking about the past. And you know, for the longest time I did think that, why did I even get a bachelor's degree? What was I going to use it for if I wasn't going to go to medical school? And I kind of thought of the whole experience under the umbrella of regret. And it took me that time of self-reflection and focusing on myself to realize that it wasn't wasted time. If I'm gonna think about things in a negative context and think of it in terms of a regret, then I'm holding on to this like negative connotation and this negative energy, and that's never going to help me move forward. So I focused on thinking about those years of school and focusing on the fact that I have a degree that I worked very hard for, and I'm super proud of myself for that. And the type of person that I am, I would have never chosen something else over getting a degree first, because education is just important to me. So I would have done that anyways. So it's not wasted time. And I learned so much. I had so many experiences, met so many new people, and those years of my life in school I appreciate and I don't regret them. So wrapping my head around that really came to being in 2019, and I came to new realizations about myself and about life, and just really solidified the fact that I do not want to go to medical school, and for my own reasons, whether other people agree with them or not. But it's about me, it's not about other people. And in 2019, I really focused on the fact that whatever decisions I made, I had to make them for myself and not focus on other people's opinions about my decisions, because at the end of the day, I'm living with those decisions. And having graduated, I was actually asked about my career and what I was going to do after graduation a lot more than I liked. And I think people, especially from the Punjabi community, I'm Punjabi in case you didn't know, so from people from my own community, like relatives or just family, friends, people you meet in like gatherings or parties and things like that, like the first question they ask is, oh, okay, what now? Oh my god, when are you gonna go to medical school? Oh my god, what are you gonna do next? It's just, answering the same question over and over and over again just got so annoying. And at some points I felt uncomfortable, and I caught myself feeling a little ashamed because I didn't have an answer, and I didn't want to straight up be like, oh, I don't want to go to medical school anymore. I kind of found myself avoiding giving that answer, and it took me those months of reflection and focusing on myself to finally comfortably and confidently be able to say, yeah, I chose not to go to medical school, and I'm focusing on figuring out what I want to do for myself. And a lot of people reacted to that by, you know, looking at me like, sorry, what? And I got a lot of judgmental opinions and looks, but whatever, it's fine. I think some people, it's really hard to change their perspectives. You know, they come from traditional ways of life, and they think that you get a degree, you go get your master's or PhD or whatever, you go to medical school, become a lawyer, doctor, engineer, and that's it. But I felt more comfortable this year to truly give my answer and what life is to me and what I want my life to look like. I'm really proud of myself that I was able to finally reach that point where I can confidently give an answer that's true to me, and it's not necessarily what the person wants to hear from me. So I eventually became very comfortable and confident in giving the answer of I'm still figuring it out, and telling them what I'm passionate about and what I'm considering. And it started to make me feel a lot better about myself, and I felt happier, and I felt like I wasn't faking it or not trying to fit into this image that the person wanted me to fit into. Okay, this next thing, I don't know if it's because I graduated or because I'm 24 currently, but I was asked about getting engaged a lot this year. I kid you not, like a lot of people asked me when I'm getting engaged, and some of them were asking it as a joke and just, you know, teasing me and things like that. But some people were dead serious, like, okay, you need to get engaged, you need to get married by this age. And I was like, that's my choice, okay? I do not get engaged until I want to get engaged, okay? This is a really random thing, but I drove a lot this year. I don't know if it's because, well, it's definitely because of this for half the year, but overall, I drove a lot this year. I don't know why I was driving so much. I feel like I was dropping off one person, picking up another person. Like, I was a taxi driver pretty much, but I wasn't getting paid for it. So in the summer, I think it was like in July, my mom got into a car accident. It wasn't her fault. Someone passed a red light while she was crossing a highway light, and it was a bad accident. Her car was totaled. It was a new car. And so basically what happened was, because of like her injuries, and every time she drove after that as well, her muscles would get strained. So basically I was driving her around everywhere she needed to be, and I was picking up my brother, dropping off my brother, and doing the groceries and everything. So I drove around a lot. I think I deserve a reward for that or something. I also spent a lot of time in the kitchen, which is totally not like me. I'm not someone who cooks a lot or likes to do kitchen related things. I mostly just let my mom handle that. Not because I'm like a spoiled brat or anything, but I don't know. I don't know how to cook Indian food, and I can cook my own food, and I usually do cook my own food. This year, I found myself helping a lot in the kitchen, and I'm super proud of myself for that as well. I cooked a lot of meals myself for everyone, and my family loved it. My dad likes to call my food bumb. It's not bomb, it's bumb. So yeah, apparently my food is bumb, and if you ever get the chance to try it, I'd say you're very lucky. So I think in 2020, I'm looking forward to maybe learning more about Indian food, because to be honest, I do not know how to make Indian food. I cannot make a single sabji. I can make rice, and I can make roti, but I can't guarantee it's going to be round. And yeah, but I can make other things, and I make them really good. In 2019, my relationship with myself also improved a lot. It's not perfect. I don't think anyone's relationship with themselves is perfect, but it's something that I've really been working on. Just being more confident in myself and believing in myself, and stopping myself when I see that I'm not going for something just because I think I'm not good enough. But I can truly say that I felt quite proud of myself this year, and I felt like I had outgrown old habits of doubting myself. Okay, no, actually, no, wait. Okay, I wouldn't say that I don't doubt myself anymore, but I would say that I challenged myself more this year, and I tried to get over the fear of failure and thinking that I'm not good enough for something, and really focused on motivating myself to just go and do what I want to do and just go for it. And I did do that this year, so I'm also proud of myself for that. I really worked on understanding myself and accepting myself for who I am, even if that is different from other people and who they are. And yeah, I really took the time to reflect on my talents, and that's also something I talked about in another video. I think it was titled what to do when you're feeling lost, and it was more about like advice and like strategies and stuff. So I reflected a lot on what my talents are, who I am as a person, what makes me happy, and I took the step to focus on those talents. And the first step that I took was starting my own business in 2019, and I'm super excited to be expanding on that idea in 2020. Yeah, I now have my own business. It is called Orem Beauty Studio. You can go follow me on Instagram. The Instagram page is still in the works because I'm working on the logo and things like that, but you can still go follow me. And so yeah, initially I kept putting it off because I felt like I was going to be judged, because I went from someone who wanted to go to medical school to now being a makeup and hair artist. And I think it's just this idea of, you know, people thinking like, oh, I thought she was smart, or maybe she didn't get in. I think those types of things, it was just me in my head, and it was just so unhealthy. Like, if I have a talent, I deserve to share it, and I'm passionate about it. And so yeah, I put it off for a long time because I just felt like, what if I'm not good enough, or maybe I just shouldn't and I should focus on something else. But I decided to go for it, and I'm super proud of myself for that, and I hope I get the chance to really grow my business and focus on it, and I'm very excited. How many times did I say "and" in this video? So yeah, eventually I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna just do it. I don't care, I love it, I have the passion for it, I have the talent for it, and yeah, I did it. That's how Orem Beauty Studio was born. In 2019, I also thought a lot about whether I wanted to go back to school or not. I just wasn't sure what I wanted to go back to school for, but I felt like I wanted to go back to school. And okay, there were days where I just sat on university program websites and just clicked through like, okay, that looks interesting, whatever, but there was nothing that drew me to it, and it just wasn't me. When I was looking at these programs, I wasn't thinking about my talents and all the reflection that I had done. I was kind of getting back into the same mindset of school being important and getting a degree being important, which is true. School is important if you want to do something in that field and you need to go to school for it. But I caught myself trying to get back into school for the sole purpose of just having something to do, or basically having an answer for someone when they ask me like, oh, what are you doing? Like, oh, I'm in, you know, whatever program. But it just wasn't right for me, because I wasn't looking into programs that were right for me. I was just looking into programs that would kind of give me something to do. So eventually I after obviously a lot of time and focusing on myself and thinking about what I really wanted to do, I decided to apply to school, and I got accepted and I received a grant, and I'm so excited to be starting school in February. It's a completely new world, and well, not a completely new world, but kind of is, but I'm excited to be pursuing my passion and yeah, focusing on my business, and I'm so excited. And I'm also very, very grateful for my parents because they supported me throughout this year. They've supported me every year of my life, but this year, even though I was feeling lost and I didn't know what I was doing and I was changing my mind about things and I wanted to apply to that program and things like that, even though I was making different decisions and I was focusing so much on myself, my parents supported me throughout everything, and I'm so grateful for that, because I know that a lot of people don't get the opportunity to be supported like that. You know, they're forced to go into careers and fields that they're not passionate about, and I'm very, very grateful and appreciative of the fact that my parents supported me when I decided to do what I wanted to do, and you know, they really pushed me to do what makes me happy and not just what society wants me to do. Overall, this year I focused a lot on spending a lot of time on myself and really focusing on and reflecting on what I need from myself and from life and what would make me happy. And I spent a lot of time with family and friends, even though every brown family is still gonna say you don't spend enough time at home, but trust me, I spent a lot of time with my family, sometimes a bit too much. I really took this year to remind myself and to prove to myself that, you know, you just have to start somewhere. You will get where you want to be, but in order to get there, you do have to start. And I think sometimes we're ashamed of starting from the bottom, but regardless of what you want to do, you're not going to achieve anything unless you start from the beginning. And so this year was all about new beginnings for me, and I'm very excited for the year 2020 and everything that lies ahead, and I can't wait to achieve new things and grow as a person and grow my business and maybe explore some new ideas. And yeah, I'm so thankful for all the lessons that I learned in 2019, and I really look forward to the new year. Also, in terms of social media, I had said in 2019 that I wanted to get to 100 subscribers on YouTube by the end of the year. And I know that sounds like such a small thing and it's such a small number, but I feel like in 2019 I made a lot of videos. I don't think I've made that many videos before, and I was not as consistent as I'd like to be and as consistent as I could be, but I did make a lot more effort, and I did it. So I reached 100 subscribers. I think I'm a little over 100 subscribers, and I'm very, 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 very grateful for each and every one of you that like my videos and comment on them and send me such positive vibes and cute messages. And thank you guys so much for supporting me, and thank you to all my subscribers. I love you guys. And in the end, I just want to say that I hope in the new year you focus on what's important to you and what makes you happy, and not necessarily what people want from you or what, you know, sounds like a good answer to give to people. Because the longer you run from your happiness and your truth, the longer it's going to take for you to find who you really are and be able to do what you really love. So I hope that the new year brings you great lessons and loads of happiness and success, and I hope you really get to focus on what you love and your passions. So yeah, I wish you all a great year, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!